The directors of Reservoir Dogs, Desperado, Pulp Fiction, From Dusk Till Dawn, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Kill Bill, and Sin City. Tarantino and Rodriguez are back. Only this time, they're back to back with a double feature that'll tear you in two.
Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time joining us for whatever reason, this is Phantom Frequency, where we dive into all different types of topics in the world of pop culture, movies, anime, music. Doesn't matter. We get into it around here. So click the buttons below the video and show some love to the channel. We've been getting some new subscribers in recently, and all of y'all have been dropping some awesome comments and different videos and all that, diving into stuff. So we love discussing everything with y'all. And as you can see, I'm not solo dolo on this one. I got the special guest with me today. It's Steph from the Final Girlz. She has returned to the channel. We finally got this going, and it's been a while, but she has done various different movies with us for quite some time now. We've done Die Hard and Sin City, and now we're talking about the double feature from two of the coolest filmmakers of all time, in my opinion, Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez's Grindhouse.
And we've done movies on both of them already. So we've already dove into Sin City and Once Upon a Time in
Hollywood.
Yeah.
And now we got this one as well. And Bruce Willis is in two of the three. That's right. So much love to him, man. The GOAT, one of the GOATs is retired right now. So we definitely won't be getting more stuff from him with these guys. But that's another cool thing about it, too, that he would work with all these like cool ass filmmakers and everything like that. I was just thinking about that when I was watching Planet Terror this morning. I was like, man, that's my guy. I almost forget he's in there. Every time
I had forgotten. I had completely forgotten that he was in the movie. But like I said, I watched it years and years ago, so I didn't remember. Other than Rose McGowan, I didn't even remember like Josh Brolin or.
Yeah, like I had that with a lot of people. I was like, oh shit, it's Marley Shelton and freaking Josh Brolin, like you said, Tom Savini, Michael Biehn. Like I was like, it's like a bunch of like actors I grew up on, like watching and stuff like that. So I had totally forgotten about it. But the first time I seen this, I was in like high school, I think. So that was like 2011 or something. So I knew some of these actors, but like Rose McGowan, I grew up on her as well. But I didn't know who Josh Brolin was at the time. And I didn't realize Marley Shelton was the girl from Sandlot, like way back years ago. So I hadn't realized I'd seen her in movies even back then. And she was also in Scream 4 and 5. Scream 4 and 5, yeah. So that was pretty sick as well. And so getting into Grindhouse here, I guess we'll go ahead and jump into Planet Terror first, since that's both freshest on our minds because we recently just rewatched it. So we'll kind of dive into
this morning.
Yeah, exactly. Making sure that I got everything up here, and because I had fell asleep last time, like we discussed off camera, right after homegirl lost her leg, but finally came back around. Yeah, for real, man. But we're diving into the Robert Rodriguez side of things, and I love the little like fake trailers they put in here and how everything kicks off with kicks off with Machete. Freaking Danny Trejo, one of the fucking legends in movies, man. And him and Robert Rodriguez, they've worked on almost every one of his movies together, it seems like. So
I've honestly never watched Machete, so we might have to do that one soon.
That might be pretty fun. Man,
it looks like it would be fun. Well, I like Danny Trejo, so we should do that one eventually.
Yeah, the second one's pretty cool too, but I like the first one a little bit more. It's really good. I think you got, if I remember right, De Niro and shit. It's cool, man.
What?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So we'll dive into that one another time.
Oh, hell yeah, for sure.
Especially if anybody down there wants us to watch it, let us know.
Drop it down below, man. You know we love the world and Tarantino and all that stuff, so we're always down for some Rodriguez or Tarantino stuff. Always. There's even a funny cameo in there that we'll discuss about the sequel if we ever get that far, but it never actually happened, but it was supposed to. But anyway, I love the whole fake trailer, man. The whole fake trailer is so sick. And I love the trailer guy voice in there too, how he's all like, you fucked with the wrong Mexican. Like, I was like, this is the shit right here. Like, you don't get this in trailers anymore, man. And just getting to see Cheech pop in there once again as the pastor, reform killer and everything like that. Super dope. And there's actually some pretty stark differences actually with, if I remember correctly, with this trailer to the movie that Robert Rodriguez would make 3 or 4 years after this. Funny enough. And but just the whole style of it is so dope. How it really does feel like a vintage, like late 70s, like early 80s type of like action movie or something, like a
Yeah.
Roger Corman
Yeah.
movie or something.
Well, I even like the way that they would transition things, or even how like the crumbling or the cracking on the film,
Yeah, yeah, like
or
the
the
film,
even or the dust and stuff like that on the film.
like the
I
cigarette
thought that
burns
was
and all that.
yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that was pretty great.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's just
I
bringing
love
that
I just
classic
I
era.
love yeah, or the way like the way it would jump or skip around a little bit or it would just kind of like
Yeah,
I
no,
just thought
yeah,
it was cool. I thought it was a cool touch.
for sure. I'm not sure if they did this
Mhm.
on film, but it definitely feels like it, or they did some really cool stuff, I guess, in the
I feel
editing.
like it wouldn't surprise me if they did do it on film and fuck the film up on purpose.
Same. I'm like, they're both from that era, and they love analog,
Yeah.
obviously. With Tarantino owns a theater in LA where he
Mhm.
plays stuff on actual film, so that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And just the way
Yeah.
that they were able to make this homage to the 70s and 80s and everything was super awesome. And I was getting
Yeah.
John Carpenter vibes throughout this whole thing. Like
Oh,
the whole
right. And I
movie.
actually like the cheesy B film effects too.
Yeah, like the monster effects and everything like that. And then
Yeah, yeah. Where the skin was all bubbling up and
yeah, I was like, ugh. I was eating during the movie too. I was like, ah. I was like, this is not a good movie to eat during. I was
eat
like,
during this movie.
yeah, I had to, man. I
Just
had to eat
proof
my breakfast.
you can get a little bit more food in.
Yeah, once Kurt
Oh,
Russell gets
and
behind the
we had our
wheel,
feet
then don't
again.
eat.
I think
Yeah, wait, come on. You know you gotta get the feet in
well
there.
there were plenty of feet in Planet Terror too.
Yeah,
Planet Terror had lots of feeties in it too.
you know that is kind of true, man.
It
Tarantino
was
with the
I
feet.
feel maybe Rodriguez might also be a foot guy.
Now I got to go back and watch all those movies and see if there's a bunch of feet in there. Hopefully not Spy
Yeah.
Kids. Let's not make it weird, Robert. Unless it's Carla Gugino, then I'll sign on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like there's just so much cool shit with the movie. And just from the
Mhm.
beginning of the movie too, it just kicks off with a bang, man. And I just love the way that it just like it's almost like not nonstop action, but it's always like cool shit going on. And just the way they're setting up
Yeah.
all these different characters with Ray and the sheriff and all that stuff. And then setting up where Rose McGowan's character of Cherry Darling is at working in the clubs and whatnot, and the kind of like shady like places that she's dealing with, and then having the
Hmm.
backdrop of the zombies kind of slowly getting like kind of revealed
Creeping
slowly
in.
but surely, just like that old school filmmaking always used to do, man. And those are the best zombie movies. I think a lot of the time. I think the only one where it really just hits you over the head, like right in the beginning of the thing, or something like that, was Dawn of the Dead from the Zack
Yeah, well,
Snyder.
Dawn of I was gonna say it very much had like the Dawn of the Dead vibe to it.
It kind of
I was
reminded
I
me
was
of the
thinking the
classic
same
and the
thing, especially like when that little girl comes into the bedroom and on Dawn
yeah,
of the Dead. It's like,
yeah,
oh
dude.
shit.
It's fucking gnarly, man. So I love the way that that all goes out and everything. And then getting the kind of things going on with the hospital with Josh Brolin's character and Marley Shelton and
I was like,
everything.
oh look, it's COVID.
Yeah, dude, I was like, "Woo, this is fucking icky and feels a little too close to home now." Thank God it didn't turn out like
Right?
this. Ugh, 28 days later and shit. But yeah, man, just getting seeing all these like the dude that got bit or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, hey, man, I just got bit earlier, and now it's all fucked up looking. Can you help me
Or
out?"
you see his tongue.
Yeah,
What I thought was pretty hilarious though was the whole time he's examining that dude with the um while he's examining the guy with the sores on his arms.
yeah,
um I thought it was pretty hilarious. He's examining him, but the other guy is behind him showing like
all this
the
fucked up
the
shit.
records and fucked up shit that's happened with these other patients. I'm like, isn't that supposed to be confidential?
Yeah, that is sick, man. I was like, God damn, bro, you're having too much fun back here. And Brolin's over here like
Right?
losing his shit, like, what the fuck is up with this guy? He's like, all right, we're gonna have to cut your arm off, homie. He's like, wait, what? He's like, I need a
Okay.
second opinion here. I'm like, no, you don't, bro. Your shit is fucked up. I'm like, the second I saw that tongue, I was like, ugh, this is gonna be fucking nasty. I forgot how nasty this
And
thing.
then we sit there and toss it and like, ugh,
Gross.
like in his face.
Yeah,
I was like,
pops that
aren't you gonna put on goggles?
shit. Ugh.
He keeps his gloves on, but still.
He just sits there and takes it. He's like, I'm like, ugh, how do you sit there for more than a second without wiping that shit off? I'm like, grody, man. But yeah, so the whole setup with that was freaking cool. And then once you get introduced to Ray, Freddy Rodriguez's character, I just think he's super badass. And I think he's definitely doing like his own version of like a Mexican Snake Plissken or something like that. Like it always felt like that to me. Like just the way he's like, hey, what's going on? You still have my jacket? I was looking for it for 2 weeks. And I was like, what's up with this guy and the heart on for the jacket? But I like the way they bring it around with the engagement ring and all
with
that
the
stuff.
ring and being inside the jacket.
At first I was like,
You
okay.
didn't check the pocket?
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's a cool little like tie-in.
Not that pocket. Not
yeah.
I thought that was sweet. Two against the world.
Yeah, exactly. I actually think their love story is actually pretty well done for having like this crazy B movie shit going on. It's not too bad actually. Like you kind of buy they actually have like a history together a little bit and whatnot, and they have like pretty cool chemistry together, especially when the action kicks off. It's fucking sick.
Absolutely. No, I like that too. And and I even thought Rose McGowan sold it really well because you know that she's probably being green screened the whole time she's hobbling around.
Yeah, for sure. She was doing
that leg.
She had the wooden leg and then she had the gun leg.
The gun. But the way but I know but I think the movements and stuff and the way she did it, she sold it.
Yeah, for sure. Rose McGowan's a really good actress, man. I think she's very underrated in the modern
absolutely.
era. You know what I mean? From like 2000s and like early 2010s. I think she put in a lot of great work, man. Even in Scream, like just being that really awesome supporting character that's super memorable. Like people still quote it to this day.
See, my thing was with her with Charmed.
Yeah. Oh, see, that was it was Scream and then Charmed for me as well, because my mom would watch it every now and again when I was a kid. And I was like, oh, that's how I saw Alyssa Milano and all that stuff. So I was definitely familiar with her from that. And then seeing her on the posters for this, I was like, oh, this looks pretty badass. I don't know how she has a gun for a leg. I'm gonna have to try to find a way to sneak into this thing, but I never ended up going back to the theater to see it because I'd have been like 12 or 13 when this came out. So definitely was one of my childhood crushes at the time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, yeah, for sure, man. But and like I said, just with her and Freddy Rodriguez, I think he definitely should have had like a bigger career, dude. I thought he was super badass in this movie.
Yeah, you know? Who knows? Maybe later.
Yeah, that's true.
It can still happen. You never know who comes back and who doesn't.
That's true. Like the guy from the Goonies and Indiana Jones.
Maybe he'll see this and be like, "Hey, I gotta start acting again."
Yeah, man. Like, get out there, bro. Like, do your thing. You know what I mean? Get in Tarantino or some shit. You know?
Maybe our podcast will pop up in his For You page or something. I don't know.
That'd be crazy. That'd be cool though.
Hey, it can happen. Stranger things have happened.
That is true. And we ain't talking.
So if you're seeing this, go on. Get more acting careers.
Yeah, man. Get those auditions or whatever you got to do.
Keep up with it. Start auditioning.
Yeah, man. Get back out there, yo. And then speaking of people that are out there, freaking Josh Brolin coming in here and kind of becoming like almost like a villain in and of itself.
Yeah.
Not the main villain.
Oh, yeah. He was bad.
Really fucked up. Like at first you thought he was like kind of like a normal guy. And then you thought he was up to something. You know? Like I was like, what the hell is she up to? Because with the text and all that. I was like, is she working with like, you know, the government or something here, and she knows what's going on with all this shit? But I was like, nah. It just turns out she was cheating, and she was
she was just having an affair.
You know, normal stuff. You know what I'm saying? And with Fergie, bro, props.
Yeah,
that's an upgrade in my opinion from Josh Brolin to Fergie. I'm just saying. You know? You know what I mean? But yeah, and that was a random ass thing too. I completely forgot she was in this movie. I was like, Fergie. But I forget she was super
like, what's she doing here? Yeah.
Not the best.
Yeah, and I like the way that she was tied in because at first you don't really know who she is until the text message thing comes up and you're just like, oh, that's who she was texting all this time.
Exactly, because at first I thought I was like, oh, just cannon fodder, random kill type cameo, real quick. But I was like, oh no, that's a purpose for this.
Oh, that's the lover. Okay.
I get it. I feel you. And this guy's crazy.
I think I would have preferred to see her with her too.
Yeah, but unfortunately, she became.
So she ended up becoming a pretty good character too throughout the whole thing. I love the way that she she thought really quickly about, because she wasn't able to use her hands,
Yeah.
and how she used her watch to shift the car into drive and use her feet to open up the car door.
Damn, man, like that was gnarly. Like I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know how she like figured this out like so quick like that. Like it was cool. And then
She
seeing her
stood
like
on her
drive
feet.
off when fucking all the cops are coming into town and shit, and everyone's
Mhm.
like going in, like just a smooth transition from like all the characters and all that was freaking sick.
Exactly.
And then the whole action part of it, like with Tom Savini and Michael Biehn when they have Ray at the sheriff's station, that to me felt like Assault on Precinct 13 or something like that. Like just like a
Mhm.
siege on the police station with like zombies and shit like that, and it's shit's blowing up everywhere and all that. I'm like, it's like Michael Bay over here, man. Like everything's blowing
Right. Only
up.
thing I didn't understand is was were the balls supposed to be part of the antidote?
Maybe I think
Because
so.
I was wondering why the dude was had jars full of balls.
I was wondering that too. Like the doctor guy or the scientist.
The scientist, the biochemical
Yeah,
engineer.
maybe he just like
Yeah,
collecting people's ball sacks. I don't know. Trophies, you know.
who knows? Trophies
I just want to know
to
where does
fry him up
Rodriguez come up with this stuff?
to fry him up later. I don't know.
These guys, I'll be worried about these guys sometimes, man. I was like, oh, geez, Bruce Willis's character is all fucked up in here. And then don't forget
Yeah,
Tarantino's
well,
freaking cameo.
Tarantino's cameo in this one was fucked up,
I was like, damn.
especially when he went to go try to have his way with Rose McGowan and all his stuff is falling off. He
Yeah, I was
pulls out
like,
his hands off.
I'm
It's
like,
just like,
damn.
oh,
I know you haven't seen this movie yet, but Terrifier 3, I was like, yeah, this is kind of
don't
on the
say
same
anything.
level. No, I'm
No
just saying,
spoilers.
like, I'm like, this is like probably the gnarliest thing I've seen since something like Terrifier or things of that nature. I'm
Yeah.
like, yikes. And this was almost 20 years ago this movie came out. So I was like, whoa, maybe people just weren't ready for this shit at the time because I know these movies didn't necessarily do well as a
Mm.
double feature at the time. It was kind of a bomb.
No, they
It's
did
a
it.
major
Well,
first
I
and
am almost wondering people, but I think people were ready for more. I don't think they were ready for it to be as, to me, because I feel like these had more of an artistic value to them. It was more of, they did it just for themselves. They didn't do it necessarily for ratings or
100%. Yeah.
for
They've been
anything
on
else.
record
I feel
saying that.
like it was 100% just a creative effort of, let's just go in and just make what the fuck we want to make and not care about anybody else or anybody else says about it or thinks about it. But we want
Yep.
to do it because it's fun.
That's very much the
And I
vibe I get
almost
from the
feel,
movie. Yeah.
yeah, and I almost feel like even the actors went in doing the same with the same
Intent.
mindset
Yeah. Let's make some.
oh, this will be fun. Let's just do it, you know?
That's
And
true.
that's kind of how I felt about both Planet Terror and Death Proof.
Yeah, because Rose McGowan was in both, so she definitely was
Yeah,
invested for sure
she
in the
was.
project. You know what I'm saying? And then Tarantino had a role in both of them and
Hmm.
directed one
I thought it
whole
was
freaking
interesting
movie.
because I was waiting to see if we would see Robert Rodriguez cameo since Tarantino was in both of them.
Has he done a cameo in his own movies before?
I don't know.
I've seen a good
But
amount of.
I believe one was done by one was done by the other, wasn't it? With this
Yeah,
one?
Terror was Rodriguez, and then Death Proof.
Terror was Rodriguez and Death Proof was Tarantino.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, back to Planet Terror before we do dive into Death Proof. I
mhm.
really like the way it turned around though, where he's it was still two against the world
Yeah, for sure. Like the
because she
love
had
story
the
was very
baby.
much, yeah, and like they found the refuge in like the looks like almost
Mhm.
like Mayan ruins in like Mexico, maybe somewhere or something
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's
that.
what I figured. It was probably Mexico.
Yeah, because he was mentioning that, and I was like, freaking Robert Rodriguez, man, always tying it into his culture, which to me, I always just dug that with his films. You always feel a cultural footprint of what's important and like where he's from in his movies. And I think no matter what genre it is, whether it's Desperado or it's in Mexico or something like this, I like
Hmm.
that he always ties it back in. Even Spy Kids, you know what I mean? Like they had like that Latin
Oh
heritage and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yep.
Antonio Banderas and everything. So I love the way that he's able to do that. It's never some like political like thing or something like
Did, did,
that. It's just an
did he
aesthetic
have
and
his
like a
hand into
thing.
From Dusk to Dawn also?
Yeah, that was the first thing I think they did together. if I remember right, because Tarantino just did Pulp Fiction, and then Rodriguez did Desperado. Then they teamed up on that one in 96, 97. So yeah,
From Dusk Till Dawn.
And that's literally, if I was gonna rank like my top 30, 50 movies or some crazy shit like that, it would be in there. I love From Dusk Till Dawn. I almost like that more than everything they've made, maybe minus like Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill. I'd probably say that's like my third right there.
Yeah, Kill Bill is probably one of my favorite, personally.
Repping it right here, man.
I see you, and I see you repping.
Yeah, the Huff.
Just as long as we don't have to look at Uma Thurman's big toe.
I'm gonna get a shirt just for that for you next time.
Oh no, dear God, no, it's okay. you really don't have to.
Oh man,
you really shouldn't. It's okay.
That's true. Hey,
but I appreciate you thinking of me, though.
All right, fair enough. Hey, Uma Thurman, man. I never know. I never know what you're into. You might be in the feet as well. Hey, I'm not judging. Everyone's got their thing, man. Everyone's got their thing.
Not my thing.
All right. If you insist, man.
Absolutely not my thing.
And another thing I just noticed this time too, which you'd think I would have noticed this before, but the actor, I have his name written down because he's like a much older actor, Michael Parks as Earl McGraw, the older cop guy that was Marley Shelton's dad. And
yeah.
Father-in-law. He was in both of these as the same character, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Like a father figure.
Yeah, because
I did like the on Planet Terror, the brothers. I liked the like when they came together, the barbecue, JT and the cop.
Sheriff Haig as his name. Yeah, Michael Biehn and Jeffrey Fahey. Yeah, they're both excellent actors, man. Like fucking Michael Biehn, that's freaking Kyle Reese, dude. It's John Connor's dad right there. So of course he's gonna be a badass. And making him and Jeff Fahey brothers, you totally bought it too. Even though they didn't look alike, I was like, I don't give a shit. Like they're totally brothers. I like how JT's just obsessed with the barbecue the whole time. He's like, it's the salt. I got it. And they're like, dude, like we're trying to figure out how not to fucking die of this disease, and you're over here talking about
your blood is in it.
Yeah, he's like, all right, that's not bad. I'm like, fucking JT, bro, and he's all calling him earlier when like the zombies are outside his place, like, hey man, you got some people out here fucking around. They better come in here and eat, or I'm gonna fucking blast them away. Which he tried to do. That didn't work out. But I just really dug their vibe. Like I wish they almost had like another movie or like a spin-off with just them two that take place like before this or something.
That would be great. But I loved it when they came into the restaurant and they thought he was dead and thought he had been gutted, and it was just a bunch of sausages laying on his
because I was like, damn, dude, they fucked him up. And I was like, oh,
these sausages really good.
Good fake out. Yeah, man. So you got the brothers, man. So that was super dope. And then, like I mentioned earlier at the top of the video, just because I totally forgot he was in there. Bruce Willis, man, coming up in here for a quick part as Lieutenant Muldoon, as kind of the big bad of the whole thing, so to speak.
Yeah,
really, really dug.
Yeah, I was excited to see Bruce Willis. I was like, what? I didn't realize he was in it. Yeah,
have more action scenes with the old Bruce Willis. But who knows, man? He might have started getting sick at this point. I don't know. I do think about this now, kind of looking back on some of his movies, where he does like a little bit less than he used to. But Sin City, he was pretty active in.
He was pretty active in Sin City.
Yeah,
he did a lot in Sin City.
Set in quite yet, but he's always dope. And getting to see him come into this thing, I think, just felt like it just fit like perfectly. I was like, he's kind of from the era of what they're kind of homaging in these movies. So I was like, that's pretty cool. You get to get him in there, and a lot of these guys and gals in the movie and whatnot. Yeah, man. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to mention in Planet Terror specifically.
Planet Terror. I did like the upgrade of the Gatling gun too for Rose McGowan at the end.
Oh yeah, that was sick. In Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Cool. Let's see here. But yeah, man. So pretty much, with Planet Terror, man, you got all the zombie action and everything like that. But yeah, so pretty much I would say I think I still prefer Death Proof, but I think Planet Terror is still pretty fucking awesome though.
Absolutely. No, I thought Planet Terror was fun, and Planet Terror actually kept you on your toes through the whole thing, whereas I feel Death Proof had a lot of the dialogue parts could be slow,
Mm-hmm.
You had to pay attention. Yeah, but you had to pay a lot of attention to it.
It was like a slow
And
burn.
I also liked because I don't remember which one it was, but I remember in Death Proof they were talking a lot about Daryl Hannah and how I guess Rosario Dawson's boyfriend or whatever was messing around with the Daryl Hannah lookalike or something like that. And
Oh
then
yeah, yeah.
in one, and then you hear the ringtone on the phone, and it's the whistling part from Kill Bill. The whole
Yep. The I can't whistle for shit, but yeah, cool Daryl Hannah scene. I got that soundtrack on vinyl
yeah.
too. That's a freaking cool ass.
Yeah, so you as she's sitting there, whistling that song as she's walking through the hospital, but it ends up being one of the ringtones, and then they end up talking about Daryl Hannah. I'm like, hey, I see what you did there.
Oh man, I didn't actually catch that. That's funny. I was like, I caught it from Kill Bill, but I didn't put two to two together that she was actually the one whistling. Damn, it's crazy,
Yeah,
man. These guys have worked with everybody, yo. It's pretty crazy.
yeah,
Think about it. It's all its own MCU shared universe at this point. It's pretty awesome.
yeah. But it's funny too, going back into this movie, I was like, wait, where is Rosario Dawson? Because like I said, I hadn't seen it in so long. I watched it years ago when it first came out on video.
Right.
And so I didn't remember a lot from it other than girls getting chased down by dude in a car.
That's sort of the gist of it, I would say, if you're gonna
Yeah.
break it down. In a way, that's
Yeah.
kind of the beauty
Oh,
of that one. It's like a little more.
oh,
Like very
I love seeing the kill shot with all four of them, like the impact.
Oh yeah, the end. Fucking
No, I'm not talking about the end. I'm talking about from the first segment.
oh,
When
and
we find when we and I'm jumping way ahead.
oh yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah. My bad. Yeah, I got you.
Death Proof though, we sure had a lot of feet. From the
Yeah,
get-go, from the jump
that's
here,
true.
from the jump, we get zoomed in on the girl who's playing Jungle Julia,
Yeah, Sydney. What's her name?
the Sydney Portier.
What? That's her dad, but what's
Sydney.
her? Oh yeah, no, she actually does have the same name. That is kind of weird. But yeah, so
Hmm.
the daughter named after the dad with the same name. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
So Sydney Poitier's daughter, Sydney Poitier.
yeah.
Yeah. So you got Jungle Julia's feet. Then you got. Didn't you get the other girl's feet too?
We got a lot of Jungle Julia's feet. We got Rosario Dawson's feet.
Yeah, that's who it was. Which you usually
Yeah,
don't see her feet a lot in movies. Actually, I was thinking about that.
I'm okay with not seeing that much feet.
No, I know, but I was just thinking. I think the only time was like Clerks 2.
Yeah,
But some of them, like you see it a
but
lot, obviously, because Uma Thurman or whoever.
yeah. One thing I like too is I love the transition on how different the camera work was from the first group of girls to the second group of girls. You notice he cleaned it up a lot.
Yeah, for sure. It was like more
It went
polished.
from that gritty 70s movie into more of an 80s, I
For
felt.
sure. Yeah, that's cool, man. Like I
But
love the way he was able to pull that off.
even though it was like only like 14 months later. But I do like the fact though that they still brought in other modern things because they're still using cell phones
In both
and
parts, right?
stuff too. Yeah,
Yeah,
both movies, yeah, they were
yeah,
using phones.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because Homegirl was texting and
Mhm.
shit. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. And back then, those are the phone when they were made. Those were the phones people were using were like sidekicks and
Yep. I remember that era. That was the time,
flip
man.
phones
The
and
razor.
excuse me. Oh, pardon me.
Salud.
Sorry.
No, you're all good. I'm
We
surprised
can
I
cut
haven't
that
sneezed
out.
by now. I was like, I got allergies. I be sneezing all the time.
Mm,
But, but yeah, man. So
same.
freaking Planet Terror. I don't know what I would rank it, man. I guess if I had to give it like a score out of 10, I'd probably go like an 8.
Oh, we're back on Planet Terror.
No, I was just saying, like if I had to rank that one, like as opposed to Death Proof, I'd probably give like Planet Terror an 8. Death Proof for me is like a 9 out of 10. Like I really love Death Proof. I
Yeah.
know some people get a little bored with like the beginning of it. I always love it, man. Like I feel like you're just like it's like Dazed and Confused
Well,
or something, like you're just
I
hanging
would
out with
say
people.
one thing though, it's kind of nice to because you really get to know each and every single one of them characters,
Yeah,
from Butterfly to Jungle Julia and whatnot. So it's like and you see their relationship with each other
Yeah,
and
the whole
whatnot.
dynamic they have as friends and all that, and then Jungle Julia, like, being
Yeah.
a part of, like, the radio and, like, kinda like the local scene, and it feels like there's, like, a whole, like, thing
Mhm.
going on. That's what I love with Tarantino movies. There's always, like, a backdrop of, like, the kind of, like, the, culture that these characters live in, you know what I'm saying? And the culture that they're a part of is always very
Mhm.
important with that, and, like, pop culture and everything plays such a huge important role with his characters, which also makes it feel like a character in his movies, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you almost felt like you were sitting down in there with them.
Yeah, and that's the very
Yeah.
much the vibe I love with it. It was like I said, it's like Richard Linklater's Days of Confused in the Tarantino world where things are more sexual and fucked up at the same time. You know what I mean? And you get the second best striptease movie out of all their movies, you know, right behind From Dusk Till Dawn. This one's pretty up there, but you don't get any clothes taken off in this one or anything. But
Oh, yeah. Oh, during the lap dance scene?
A1, man, I tell you, Kurt Russell, lucky guy. Getting to be in that shit. I seen that pop up on Twitter, like, a few weeks ago too, and I was like, it always comes up, man, and I'm like,
I've
that's
always liked
probably the
Kurt
most
Russell.
hyped
Kurt
up
Russell's a great actor
one of
too.
my
I mean,
top 5.
they had a thing.
Yeah, freaking Kurt Russell's always killing it, man. The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, this movie right here, and getting to see him be a straight up villain was fucking
Well, he was.
awesome.
Oh, I know. That was really. It was crazy to see him like that.
I
And he was.
loved it.
Oh, he was. And it's crazy when you finally see it when he has Rose McGowan in his car, and he's all, "Well, which way are you going?" She goes, "Right." And he's like, "Well, too bad for you. You would have had a little more sense of security if we had been going right." But this is where you get scared because we're turning left. I was just like, "Oh my
Oh,
God."
shit. I knew something was off from the beginning, man. I was
Oh
like
yeah.
I think Kurt Russell I think Tarantino's making Kurt Russell a slasher, man. Which kinda, but just using his car instead, so I was like, "Oh, that's
Oh
very
yeah,
creative."
because they even talked about that while he was in the hospital was vehicular manslaughter.
I was like, "Man, that's like an interesting
But they
idea."
couldn't prove, but the way he did it though, he was smart about it because all the women that got killed were,
Intoxic
either on drugs
Yep,
or they were completely really intoxicated and things like that. And he didn't have anything
and
in his system.
so legally, they were like, "I don't know, man, it had to be them," you know what I'm saying? And it's just that bias
Yeah.
against, people smoking bud and shit like that too anyway, so some
Oh
judges
yeah.
look down on that shit, and you're automatically gonna turn your bias towards the other person, even though this fool's involved with so many fucking accidents and shit, and I'm just like, "Man, like, that's so crazy." Because even,
Mhm.
that older actor, the sheriff guy, he was even saying like, "Man, we can't get this son of a bitch because fucking every time he gets off on some technicality or some shit, but we know he's doing something, so he ain't gonna be able to do it around here anymore," which is how he ends up
Mhm.
in the different
In
places.
Lebanon, Tennessee.
Yeah, Lebanon, there you go. I couldn't remember the city at all. I was like, "I know it's Tennessee."
Yeah, but whereas originally both Planet Terror and Death Proof took place in Austin,
Yeah,
they even reference Jungle Julia, the death of Jungle Julia in Planet Terror
they did?
on the radio.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit, I
when
missed that.
Fergie's listening to the radio and they're like, "Rest in peace,"
Oh,
to the
shit.
late Jungle, in honor of the late Jungle Julia.
That's
And I
cool, man.
caught that earlier today. Yeah, when I was
That's
watching
dope. So, yeah, so I like how they're, like, sequels, like it's like
it.
it's MCU before MCU, man. Iron Man, you freaking were jockeying these guys, man. I see you, Marvel, because it was like it
This is
totally is
Taran
something
this
like that.
this is Tarantino Rodriguez universe.
That's true, because I'm like their universes have tied into
Mhm,
each other since From Dusk Till Dawn because of Big Kahuna Burger
mhm,
and all that shit. And I always had a fan theory that like fucking the dude in Pulp Fiction, Marcellus Wallace, I always had a thing that he was working
mhm,
with the guys that hired what's his name? Tarantino and George Clooney's characters to do the whole
mhm.
heist shit to begin with. So I was like, I bet you they were all like dealing with each other in the same type of shit, you know?
Probably.
Yeah,
Mhm,
because Michael Madsen's character is the brother of I almost said Vince Vaughn for some reason. Of uh I'm forgetting his name. Vincent Vega, man. John Travolta, there you go. Yeah, him. Those
yeah.
guys are supposed
Oh,
to be
yeah,
brothers from
Travolta's
Reservoir Dogs,
dead.
yeah, and Pulp Fiction. So I like how
Mhm,
this all always ties in to each other. But yeah, so just going in with the first part of the Death Proof and everything like that, and just setting up the whole kind of vibe of them going to the bar and all that stuff. And then once you meet Kurt Russell's character and Rose McGowan and how she actually knew Jungle Julia and them because she grew up with them, I thought was a really cool thing too, to where those characters already had like history and like dealing with each other, so you didn't have to try to like set up a bunch of time with them. They could just kind of meet in that one place and kind of already have like cool things going on, or like kind of like a little bit of tension between the characters and all that, and how she decides to take a ride with Kurt Russell as opposed to going with someone else, and they're just like, yeah, like good luck with that creep, and they kind of knew like something was up, you know what I mean? So I
and
like
she's like, well, I'm not gonna sleep with him, I can hear you, he's old enough to be my dad, I still can hear you.
I was like, damn, I was like, that is true. I was like, he is definitely an older head. But I was like, yeah, y'all are definitely sleeping on what the real threat is here. That's for sure. But it comes back to bite them in the ass, because it is the craziest like car crash scene I think I've ever seen in any movie, man.
Oh, and it was nuts. And like I said, I thought it was brilliant the way they showed the point of impact with every single character. So you watch Rose McGowan get killed, but that's even before he hits the red car with the other girls in it. And you wonder about what happened to Rose McGowan's body, because they talk about the other four girls that were in the car, but they don't talk about finding Rose McGowan's body.
Oh shit, that is a good point.
So I wonder if she got completely like just
probably just decimated
or something in the car. But yeah, and the other one where you see everything, you see the one girl fly through the window, you see you see Jungle Julia's leg fall off in the middle. You see the girl, the driver, just all the glass and stuff go into her face, and the other girl gets the one that gave the lap dance gets the tire to the face.
Like freaking,
just like, yikes.
I was like,
I thought that was brilliant, though, the way they kept showing like it happening over and over again with the different what was happening to each girl.
Because the first time I seen that, I thought like my DVD was fucking up. I was like, what the heck? And I was like, oh, and I'm like, oh man, like, that's so brutal. And it's just such a cool stunt too. Like it looks like just like a real ass. It's like it kind of is, I guess, but it just looks like a straight up car crash just went down on the road. And I like how they don't use any CG for any of that shit. It's all practical effects, pretty much. I think in this part of it, Planet Terror definitely requires some CG for certain things that he's doing, because it's more of a big action movie. This one is like all practical effects pretty much, and I love that. It's all stunts, it's all freaking prosthetics and all that stuff, so it just makes everything feel super visceral and real, and just makes you feel like Kurt Russell's really driving around all crazy in the car and everything like that, especially with the chase later. That shit is just probably one of, if not my favorite car chase in any movie, other than maybe The Dark Knight.
The second part, I just felt bad for the girl that got left behind with the guy for when they went and picked up the Dodge.
Right, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character,
yeah,
the model or whatever. She got left with the weirdo.
Is she playing in a porno? Yes.
Yes, actually. I was like, that's fucked up, man. I was like, y'all are just selling her out.
But don't mention it, because she's really shy about it. I would be pissed. I would have been pissed. You're
not
leave me here
at all.
No.
And
but
speaking of Kill Bill as well, you got Zoe Bell up in there playing herself, who is the stunt double of Uma Thurman in Kill Bill and whatnot.
I thought it was really cool how they I don't know, just like that stunt was fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, she just fit with the belts and everything.
And it was crazy because the whole time during that scene, I was like, well, they can't. At first, I'm thinking, slow down. I'm like, wait, no, they can't just slow down, because then she's going to just fly off the front of the hood. And I was like, the whole time it was so intense. I'm like, and then I felt bad. I was like, look at this poor car.
They're taking it for a test drive. And I was like, the second they said that, I was like, they're gonna fuck this car up, man. The first time I seen it, I was like, this car is getting fucked up. You never take anything for a test drive in a movie, and it ends up well. So I was like, this thing's gonna get destroyed, and it does. And they're supposed to be taking it out just to fuck around, and then this.
I'm like with the other girl who owned the Mustang. I'm like, they're not getting that pretty yellow Mustang back.
Nope, not at all, man. And
you are not getting that. You are going to be giving this guy that pretty yellow Mustang with the lipstick red interior.
Yeah, because his shit is fucked up, son. And
Fucked up
freaking
beyond repair.
and Rosario Dawson's just freaking out the whole time. And then homegirl's just
Well,
driving. She's
yeah,
like, faster.
after I think once they got the girl back in the car, she was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck this guy, we are taking him on."
Yeah. Let's fucking kill him. I was like, oh shit. And she meant that shit because they chased his
Mhm.
ass down. And I loved how he just turned into a coward, dude. Like he was like, once someone finally like brought his fucking
Well,
brought his
yeah, when they shot him, he was just like he wasn't used to people fighting him.
I guess not. I'm like, I don't know. I guess no one ever decided to like do anything about it for some odd reason.
So I think it took him by surprise because usually he would been able to just go and pick these women off with no problems, and this time they fought back.
It's
They
true.
kicked his ass.
I did feel that
But
like it
he
was a
fucked
little
around and found
strange.
out.
Yeah, you did. Fucked
Well,
around and
I thought
found
it was
out.
kind of cool though. Too. I don't think he was expecting to go up against other stunt women though.
That's true. I was like, those are a different type of breed
Hmm.
of people. You know what I mean? Where they got no fear of death whatsoever, literally, because that's literally dependent on
Hmm.
them actually being able to do their job. So that is a good point. It is a good point.
Yeah,
I was
so
wondering how he was.
I don't think he was expecting any of that
Yeah, I did think it was kind of
whatsoever.
weird. He was in Texas though, and no one ever shot at him when he was doing this shit. Though I was like, no one had a gun or anything
True.
in Texas.
Oh, guess not. They're in
You know?
Tennessee.
Well, at first he was in Texas though,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I
Well,
was
yeah,
like,
because
I
you would
don't know,
expect people having in Texas,
but I guess not
especially in
everybody.
Austin. I don't know.
But either way, maybe I'm
Yeah.
thinking too deep into it. But yeah, man, and just the whole sequence from them just chasing his ass down is just nonstop, just thrilling, man. Like just on the edge of your seat the whole rest of the fucking movie, man. And then once they finally catch up to him, it is brutal. He's getting
Oh
fucked
yeah.
up. I was like, this might be one of the like most
Oh,
brutal fight scenes I've
I
seen in a
loved
movie.
it when Zoe caught up to him and just clocked him with the pipe.
Oh yeah, just bam,
Oh,
just fucking going at it,
yeah.
bro. I was like, damn, dude. I was like, yeah, you're fucked now, bro. And then fucking homegirl was
Mhm.
like on his ass no matter what. They're going swerving around cars and going around bends and shit. And she is just on this fool like a
Mhm.
Terminator. I was like, yo, this is
Yeah. Well,
insane.
I thought the shot was beautiful too, where he's down here and he thought he lost him, and they're up here.
And they come up,
And
yeah.
you see that shot above the Dodge, and you can see him down there, and he has no clue because he thinks he lost him. I was like, oh, wait for it.
Yep. I mean, not today, sir. They're just stalking him, man. And it's just freaking
You
Tarantino,
fucking
man. Just always knows how to film action and chase scenes just so beautifully, man. It just
Yeah.
makes everything
And I
so
said that
dynamic.
out loud too as I was watching the movie. I'm like, he fucked with the wrong bitches.
Yeah, for sure. You got through a few of
Wrong
them at
ones on
first,
this
but
time.
yeah, don't go to Tennessee, son, because
I was
goddamn.
gonna say he's probably never gonna do that again.
No, he's
Like,
not,
no.
'cause that fool is in the dirt, man.
Yeah.
Freaking Zoe Bell hits him with that spinning kick, with the spinning hook kick. Fucking
Oh
bam.
no, or even everything when Rosario Dawson did like let her heel fall into his face.
Oh yeah, that too. Just smashed
Just
his
the
fucking
whole
skull, Mike Myers style. I was like, oh man. I was like, this fool is dead as fuck.
that was beautiful. I love that kick that she did. She just leg up in the air and right back down.
Oh, yikes. I was like, I
I
didn't
was
see
like,
that
that was
coming from her at
beautiful.
first, you know? She seemed like all like wimpy
Oh,
at first and stuff. And I was like, that was a cool way to like have her character kind of change up throughout the story and whatnot. Kind of get a little bit of character development in there. Kind of like Rose McGowan's character, how she kind of rises to the occasion and kind of becomes the main hero by the end of the thing, or like does the killing shot or the killing blow to whatever the threat is. So I thought that was kind of like a cool symmetry with both the movies and everything like that. And I wonder how they played them in the theater too, like
when
which one played first.
I asked you for a second.
Oh, really? Oh, where'd you lose
I
me at?
sure did. We
Because
were
you
talking about
froze right now.
Rosario Dawson.
Oh yeah, I was saying it was pretty cool how her character kind of became like kind of like more badass and more into the action by the end of the movie, similar to Rose McGowan's character and everything like that. So I
Yeah.
thought it was like cool like symmetry between the two movies, how they kind of had the final
Mhm.
girl s type of a thing going on there with the characters.
Final Girls.
Um, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I was saying
And I
too,
like the fact that in both of them we had more than one final girl.
that's true because it was like a group essentially with this one, and then the other one it was kind of like a two-hander
It was the duo.
with
Well,
Rose
we
McGowan and
also
Marley
had the
Shelton. The other chicks too,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
The
you
babysitter.
had the twins too, but we didn't care about the twins.
Nah, I was like,
After they hit the car with the shovels, we didn't care about the twins.
not
They were
really.
cool bitches.
In the
No.
background, you know what I'm saying? After Ray got shot up, it was just up to Rose McGowan and Marley Shelton to get the job done and everything like that. But yeah, and I was saying too, I wonder which one of these in the theater played first when they did the double feature. I was like, I would be curious to see.
Oh no.
You lost me again?
I did.
Oh, okay. I think you froze also. Let me
Yeah.
see. Well, I was saying I wonder which one played first in the theater. Like since they did the
Did it come out at the same time?
yeah, but I think it was like a double feature thing. So they played one and
Mhm.
then played the other one. So I was wondering which order they played them
Oh,
in.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I
You have any tabs open on your computer?
I don't. I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
But
Hmm.
I do not. So I don't know why the connection's being dumb.
Yeah, sometimes it just
The
happens.
joys of It's the joys of technology. We love
Yes.
it.
Yes, it is the best. But let me make sure. I think all my stuff. I think I'm good. Let me
Okay.
see.
Yeah,
Hopefully
it shows
I
my
get it.
stuff being pretty like having a solid connection.
Yeah. Wi-Fi, you never know sometimes, man. Especially with Spectrum.
Yeah. Same here. I got
Yep.
Spectrum also. Fuck you,
Jeez.
Spectrum.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, I mean, was there anything else about Death Proof or even Planetara that you wanted to mention before we wrapped it up, or anything we
No,
missed?
it's just like I said, I was excited to see multiple Final Girls. I love the girl power in Death Proof.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, oh yeah. Yeah, I thought they were fun. Obviously, they're not like A-rated movies, that
Yeah, for
but
sure.
I think that they're fun. They're definitely things that I would watch again if somebody sat down and were like, "Hey, let's watch this movie." You're like, "Oh, yeah, let's do it," because they're
Oh, yeah.
fun. They're both fun movies.
Yeah, they're like super
Yeah.
rewatchable and super like really entertaining. Great
Mhm.
actors. Obviously, two of the most fun, like I would say, unique directors as well.
Directors.
So getting to see
Yeah.
the fucked up, crazy insanity that comes out of these guys' minds and bleeds onto the
Yeah.
screen
And
is
the artist in me absolutely loves the creative takes on just the whole thing.
yeah, in the way that they could pay homage, but at the same time put their own stamp and style and everything
Mhm.
like that, and kind of use what they've done before and bring something new to the table. So I always dig watching these
100%.
movies. You know what I mean? And y'all let us know down below in the comments which one of these you prefer the most. I think I'm gonna go slightly on Team Death Proof. I'm gonna slightly go with that one. But I know a lot of people out there really dig Planet Terror as well. So y'all let us know which one's your
Mhm.
favorite? If you saw it in the theater, what'd you think about it the first time you seen it and everything like that? And if you want to see us cover like Machete or potentially, we could revisit From Dusk Till Dawn on the channel because I know I did that solo before, but we could always revisit that because that's, like I mentioned,
I'm
one of my
down.
favorites. You know what I mean? And there's a bunch of Tarantino movies we haven't discussed on the channel yet. You got like 6 or 7 other movies of his. And then Robert Rodriguez has a
Mhm.
ton of different cool movies and stuff like that. I don't really necessarily want to dive into any of the kids' movies per se, unless we're talking Spy Kids, maybe. But he's got some cool movies out there as well. So we might be diving back into the world of these guys at some point. But if you want to see anything in particular, let us know in the comments, or you can hit us up on either of our social medias. I'll have all of Steph's information linked below, and then show you guys the link to the Final Girls channel as well. They react to horror movies, and since they didn't grow up, as diehard horror fans, all these like classic different franchises like Alien, they've been doing that series. There's Nightmare on Elm Street,
Mhm.
all these different cool horror franchises on there, and they do original horror as well. So, and I know they probably got
Mhm.
a lot in the can they haven't even released yet, and I even got to
Oh,
catch up.
we got some good ones for you. Maybe I'll tell
Okay,
you
cool.
about them after we
After
stop recording.
Yeah, so yeah, you gotta let me know so I can catch up on that as well. And like I always say, we got cool stuff coming up here on the channel. Kendrick Lamar just dropped his album out of nowhere, GNX. We're gonna be covering that coming up this week. I got some other fun music topics we're gonna be doing on the channel, and then
Cool.
yeah, so I think Star Wars is something coming out pretty soon as well. So we'll be covering all that stuff leading into Christmas season and all that. And you'll be seeing Steph again on the channel real soon. I'm sure we'll get something planned and going in the near future. But always want to thank you for taking time out of your day to do this with me and being on the show.
Absolutely. I enjoy being part of the show. It's fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. And yeah, so once again, y'all, make sure you're clicking all the buttons below the video, showing that love for the channel. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. And until next time, make sure you stay safe out there. Much love. Peace out.